Live. Good morning. Good morning. It's Real Talk with Gail. We're waiting for the Facebook button to say we're live, and we are. Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Kingdom Dream Chasers. For those of you who are new, you have a very, very special treat today. So every Thursday, I go live. Well, let me take that back. Unless I'm doing a live event, which I do once a month, but every Thursday, if there's not a live event going on, I bring you it's called Real Talk with Gail, and it's a training. And it's usually what I try to keep my finger on the pulse of my clients, those women who are in the second half of life, who are wanting to work smarter, not harder, in their direct sales or network marketing business that we want to build from a kingdom perspective. And so I try to bring you a topic that's really going to bless you, um, from hearing from what's going on with you, what your struggles are, and what you need. Well, today we have a very special conversation. I'm going to be introducing you to one of my favorite people, Margie Sutterloff. And I want to give you a very quick backstory before I even read her bio. Well, let's all first say hi to Margie. Hi, Margie.
Hi, everyone.
Margie is down in Florida. She and her husband, Don, well, I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But what I've learned through Margie is a kingdom health coach and many other things. But I want to tee this up for you where we're going today, because what I've learned from Margie is I've been a lifelong entrepreneur, and a believer, but I did not understand how intimately my ability to have business success was tied to my health. And so we're going to be diving into this conversation today. And Margie's going to be giving you some wonderful tools. And at the very end, she's going to be inviting you to something that I think is going to bless many of you. So come on in, join us today. Make sure I'm going to try to keep my feed up in the Facebook comments so that you can ask questions or ask for clarification, as Margie and I continue to talk together. So the first thing I want to do is get my screen buttons, moving things in different places so that I can read her introduction. I got to put my little finger on it here. The wheel is spinning there. Okay, that is out of the way. And now we're going to move that down here. We're going to move this over here. Okay, Margie, my button went away with your bio. I know
Oh,
how to get it back.
okay.
I know how to get it back. So like I said, Margie and I met we met through Zoom. We met through Facebook groups. And then we got on Zoom together, and we had never met in person until February of 21. And we
Mhm.
did we did a fabulous retreat together down on Sanibel Island, which was so wonderful. So we go back a ways, but I want to introduce you now to Margie officially. Margie is the founder of Sunlight Functional Medicine and Nutrition. She's on a mission to bring God's message of radiant kingdom health to highly motivated Christian women. That's you guys in the second half of life. She is passionate about seeing women become the best version of who God created them to be at every stage in life, and to confidently step into their God given calling with grace, radiance, and purpose. Margie holds a medical license in the state of Florida as a physical therapist with her master's degree in holistic nutrition and postgraduate studies in health coaching and functional medicine. Margie created the Radiant Health Method, which is a 3-step healing process grounded in science and guided, wait for it, by 7 Kingdom Health keys to provide you a simple and effective way for women to shine their light in the world as they grow in their businesses, relationships, and overall health. She has helped thousands of clients over the years to reach their health and lifestyle goals, and believes it's never too late and you're never too old to serve others with a healthy body, soul, and spirit. Margie and her husband, Don, live in Florida, where they enjoy sunshine, ocean. Okay, we're all a little jealous right now. Bike riding, horseback riding, boating, and anything having to do with family, friends, good food, and of course, spending time with Jesus. Margie, welcome.
Thank you, Gail. Thank you. It is really an honor to be on this call with you today and to be able to serve these ladies. There are such beautiful women in your group, because I've connected with a number of them, and you know, it's just you serve them so well, and it's just an honor to be here with you.
Well, I thank you very much for that. I adore you. Well, tell us, you, I'd like to get into this conversation a little bit about why in the world does the world try to tell us, and quite honestly, sometimes even our church, I'm saying that in air quotes, right? The church kind of separates our body, our health from our life. And in this case, specifically today, why do we separate our body from our business? Why do we do that? Why do we separate?
I think that's a valid question. I honestly, I think it goes back to just the way we've been programmed from the time we were young, and our health has always been something that we've. I guess from my perspective, in the traditional medical field,
Yeah.
we've never really been given the opportunity to take responsibility for our health. It's always been something that we've given over to someone else. And so that mindset is such that, well, I can take a pill for this if I don't feel well, or I can get a quick fix over here or something. In our traditional medical system, although we need it, it has programmed us to think of it in terms of segments. It's like my health is here, my business is here, but truly, once you understand that kingdom health is just a part of, when we look at our health from a kingdom perspective, I should say,
Yeah.
it's everything. It has to do with, affects our relationships, it affects our business, it affects our finances, it affects everything. How we feel and how we carry our body into this world from a kingdom perspective, they are intimately related. And I know you've gone through some of your own challenges with all that and come out the other side and understand that importance and that intimacy between the two of them.
Well, through just growing in my intimacy with the Lord as an entrepreneur and asking him to reveal, like that best version of me in all areas of my life, I started to see, and just to take you through quickly, when we are emotionally discouraged, maybe we put on some pounds, we're disappointed in ourselves, we that creates stress, then life, it can be stressful, and so now there's more stress, and now we're more discouraged, we're feeling less hope. So then I go to more poor food choices because I want comfort foods, I want sugar, I want quick fixes to kind of deal with those emotional feelings that I'm having. I don't, in those moments, I don't have the kind of fortitude in those moments to say, I know I think I want this brownie right now, but I really don't. What I really want is a green smoothie that's going to make, but in those emotional moments, I make those poor choices, and then they lead to more poor choices, Conversely, well, wait, then I try to go work my business from that place. My energy's low, my emotions are low, my self-confidence is low, and I'm out there trying to work my business. It usually doesn't go very well.
Right.
I'm not focused, I'm cluttered, I'm disappointed in myself. Conversely, when I'm like, okay, I'm drinking my water. I'm drinking my water. I've had my green smoothie. Like last night, I came home from a very stressful evening at our other business, 9:30, hadn't really eaten. And here it was standing in front of the refrigerator in that tired, emotional place. And I was like, Gail, make a green smoothie right now. And I did, and I drank that, and I went to bed after that bath feeling so good, So anyway, it's so incredibly impacts my business, and I just never really believed it before.
Yeah. And I think sometimes we can go through the motions and we can think, well, things that I know for myself for a number of years, it was, I have to do this in order to lose weight. I have to do this if I want to be healthy. I have to do this. So it was always a list of things I had to do. And I think that can get us stuck when we think, okay, but you're not, then that's not what you're doing. You're choosing to do that because it will help you. And I think when you think of it in terms of, I get to do this, I get to have all this nourishing food because I'm choosing that. And that actually makes a huge difference psychologically, and it helps us actually metabolize what we're eating in a different fashion than if we're approaching it with, "Oh, I have to drink this green smoothie," which is not what you're doing. Again, you're doing, I get to do it. But I think sometimes when we have to make that shift. We have to go from, okay, I gotta eat these foods, and I can't eat this, and I can't eat that. We got to go from that mindset into, look at what I get to have. Look at what God's provided for me. And like I said, you can take the same nutrition plan, and if your mindset is over here on, I have to do this, your body's going to react differently to it.
Yes.
Than it is when you are cherishing it and reveling in the fact that you get to have this. It's going to change your DNA. It's going to change how your body processes what you're giving it. So it's pretty impressive.
Oh, it's so important. And I've experienced that. I remember when I went through some biblical training on the body, and I had this epiphany from the Lord, like it was just like a Holy Spirit revelation that my whole life, really, I had been programmed to care about the outside of my body as a woman, how much how my clothes look, how much I weighed, what were these jeans going to look like and fit. So therefore, all of my goals when it came to health were related to an external outcome.
Mhm.
When in this biblical journey through stewarding the body and having this whole new love for my body,
Mhm.
and actually awe for the inside of my body.
Yeah.
Like when I started
Yeah.
really studying the inside of my body and how intimately scientists still can't figure out everything that God did and does on the
Mhm.
inside of our body and our brain. So when I started to have this awe for it and reverence for what God gave me in the form of my body, I wanted to start stewarding it well.
Mhm.
And I wanted to care about the inside.
Mhm.
And this miraculous thing happened. The outside of my body started taking care of itself.
Mhm.
When I stopped focusing on the outside and I cared about the inside. And it's the same thing I tell my clients today. When you stop focusing on the outcome of your business and you
Mhm.
start focusing on what you're doing today to move your
Mhm.
business forward, you're going to start experiencing results.
Absolutely. I had a thought when you were saying that, and I was trying to think, oh yeah, because of my science background, I went to, it was basically pre-med. And so, when you work on cadavers and you study all of the things that have to do with the human body, you know exactly what's happening when you put food in. You know exactly what's happening when you're exercising. With my background in physical therapy, I mean, I can visualize. I have the privilege of having learned all that, so that now, I mean, I don't do that work anymore, but I draw on those visions and that knowledge base to know that, okay, when we eat this food or when we exercise in a certain way, this is the impact and this is the outcome that we'll have. And this is what I want to share with those. They don't have to know the science.
Yeah.
You don't really have to know that. You just have to trust that what you're doing is working and that God's working. And the other thing I was thinking of when you said that is, there's no, we always say there's no diets in the kingdom. So the word diet
Oh, say
is
that
not,
again. Say that again. I'm typing it in on the comments.
there are no diets. God doesn't have diets in the kingdom. Now, he offers us a wonderful array of beautiful foods that will nourish our body, and we can choose from that. But there are no restrictions. And that's one of the 7 keys, is finding freedom in food, freedom and joy in our food. And that's, when we talk about freedom, it's not just freedom in the food, but it's freedom in our health. Freedom to understand that, we don't have to age the way our parents aged. I'll bring it back here quickly, but all the years that I did spend being a physical therapist, and I managed the last few years that I was in practice, I managed nursing homes all around the state of Indiana. And I watched how our senior population is treated in their senior years. I watched how they aged. I watched the foods that they were fed in those institutions. I watched my own parents deal with poor aging and over medication at the end of their life. So I get it. I see it. I see it firsthand. And it's like, that doesn't have to be the way,
Yeah.
but we have to understand how to get out of that pattern, and I think so many of us get to that age, that 50 plus age. And it's almost like things just, a switch just flips and we look and we go, where did this belly come from? Where did that, it was, it wasn't there last week, and where are these wrinkles coming from? And we can look at it from a natural perspective, but God doesn't see that. And when we look in the mirror and those are the things that we pick out and those are the things that we see, that's when we have to go, okay, take a step back and go, God, how do you see me? What do you see? Do you see this wrinkle? Do you see this belly? What are you seeing when you look at me? And then when we got to go inside and see ourselves the way he sees us. And it's sometimes, I'm not saying it's easy to do, but it's something that he wants us to be able to do. He wants us to focus on him, and he will take care of all that. He'll give us what we are trying to accomplish if we just listen to what he says and follow his guidelines.
Oh, Margie, so good. All right. So tell us, we've talked some about that, the effects of our health as an entrepreneur on the success of our business, emotionally, our bodies. Why don't you talk about that for a moment? How intimately our food choices, our decision to move our body or not, meaning like a little bit of exercise each day, whether it's a walk or a little yoga or whatever, those choices, how intimately they affect our emotions.
Well, yes, and I guess what's coming to mind is I guess I have a client. I had a client last year, and her name was Leslie, and I think I can answer this question best by telling you this. She was a very high-profile realtor. And she'd been struggling with her health for a number of years. I mean, she'd been to all the different practitioners. She'd even been to functional medicine practitioners in her area because she knew that the traditional medicine wasn't working. She'd been through all of the tests, she'd been through everything, and nothing was working. She was only able to eat a very small array of foods that didn't create a havoc in her digestive tract. Now, the emotional piece of that is, she's a high-profile realtor, and she couldn't leave her home to show a home or to get a home staged or ready without taking a spare pair of clothes with her, because her digestion was so bad that she didn't know if she was going to make it through a presentation. So she always carried spare clothes in her car. Now you talk about the emotional impact of that. I mean, how much anxiety does that present? And how much does that keep you from, things she'd have to cancel? She had to cancel appointments. She had to cancel things that she was going to do. And, that is not a good thing when you're an entrepreneur and you've got responsibilities. So that's on one end of the spectrum. Well, anyway, she got herself back on track. She never carries a spare set of clothes anymore. Her digestion is all better and she's doing fabulous, and she lost the weight she wanted to lose. So that's the good side of that story. Yeah. But the emotional piece of it, if you are constant, so that's one aspect. I've talked to women who, that their day is filled with, what can I eat? What can't I eat? How am I going to lose this weight? The emotional struggle that goes on with food being all consuming. Yeah. And just not knowing what to do. And then the frustration, the emotional frustration when what you're doing isn't working and you still see the scale going up. Yeah. And the energy going down. And so I think that plays a big role in our emotions and how we present ourselves to the world. Exactly. And that's what we want to do. We want to free people up to be who they were created to be and be that best version that God created them to be. Yeah. So
I remember reading, I don't know if it was Jim Rohn or somebody, but I remember reading that, if you really think that, or let me say it this way, we work from our emotional place. So if we are low energy, discouraged, hopeless, the chances that we're going to pick up the phone and be like, hi, how are you? That's, But when we're making those good choices and our energy is up and we're feeling confident, because we've had our water and we had our green
Mhm.
smoothie and we're moving in the right direction and we're in that brain space of, I get to honor my body. I get to have a green smoothie instead of, oh my God, all I get to have are green smoothie.
Mhm.
So yeah, that the mindset's so important. All right. Tell us another testimonial. Give us another idea, Margie, of one of the women that you work with that.
Well, this is somebody that I'm working with right now. Her name's Debbie, and she's been just doing such an amazing job. She joined my 16-week program, and that was something that you mentioned earlier. In the kingdom, we don't always necessarily get the fast results that we do if we try a quick new diet or something. But Debbie started with me about 30 to 40 days ago, and she had no idea how much sugar she was consuming. In other words, she didn't really put a lot of extra sugar on things, but we started helping her read labels and understand that, oh my gosh, she had no idea. So she was able to really clean up her, I say diet, clean up her nutrition, clean up her food choices. And she went from having tremendous digestive issues. And I guess digestive issues seem to be a common thing with my clients, because that's a lot of times where the gut, where the health issues begin, is in the gut.
Yeah.
But anyway, no more gut problems. She was having some issues with certain foods that she was sensitive to, no longer having that. And now she's ready to start the second phase, which is where we can really start working on her metabolism, because she's dropped a couple of pounds, but she's not got to where she wants to be. But that's because her body wasn't allowing her to let go. It wasn't a clearing of the toxins, and she was holding on to them all. So now that that's cleared away, now she can step forward and really, I believe she's going to see some major changes in her weight. And it's going to be more long-term now. It's not going to be a quick water weight loss or something that she's going to gain back. She's on a path that's going to keep her going.
That's what I love about you is it's lifestyle change, it's holistic, mind, body, spirit. The thing that when I was praying this morning about our time together and thinking of the women who would be watching this, I was like, and I mentioned this to you before we got started, but I was like, okay, why, Lord, why are we in this quick fix, myself included? I want my diet to change like that. I want my eating habits to change like that. I want the scale to change like that. I want my clothes to feel better like that. Where does that come from, Lord? And so in love, what I heard kind of was, well, one, I felt him telling us, reminding me that, he gave us the power to be creative and to create solutions. So along the way, somebody came up with the brilliant idea of a microwave so that we would be able to do things quicker. Someone came up with the brilliant idea to drive through a drive-through because that we would be able to do things quicker. So now we're in this, but what are the negative consequences of that? What are the negative consequences of that microwave and that microwave mentality that my meal should take ding, ding, ding on the microwave. That so grosses me out now. But you know what I'm saying? Or the drive-through is all I have time for. All I have time for is the drive-through. And so, so something where he gave us this desire to come up with solutions to be more efficient and more effective. But we have to be careful about using that in a way that is actually harmful to our health. We work with someone like you who has this holistic approach that understands that this is a lifestyle thing. We're not going to do this yo-yo dieting anymore. We're not going to, it's going to be a lot. So yeah.
Yeah, that's such a good point, because once again, in the kingdom, there's no microwaves in the kingdom. Let's put it that way. It's shifting that mindset from living in. We have to live in this world because we were born into this world. We live in a fallen world. We know that, but we know that God has something better, and we know that He has kingdom principles. He has kingdom business principles. He has kingdom health principles. He has kingdom financial principles. He has. When we start to see everything in the light of His kingdom, and we bring that kingdom down here, we don't have to wait till we go to heaven to get to that kingdom. We can bring it here and live it now. But there are certain things we have to shift, and one is that microwave society. It's not everything in His kingdom is in His time.
Yeah.
It's not in our time. It's not when we wanted to see it done. It's, Lord, when do you want me to do this? And how do you want me to do this? And what do you see? And ask him to show us what his timeline is for everything,
Yeah.
health and
You know,
everything.
truly loving the Lord, truly honoring him is stewarding our bodies, is loving
Mhm.
our bodies. I was going through that exact thing, looking down on my stomach and going, where did that come from? I'm 56. I'm finally in that full on menopause where people say like, oh, the bloat, the whatever. I'm kind of like, yeah, whatever, just go exercise. Well, here I am,
Mhm.
with that tummy. And I finally had to get to a point where the Lord kind of convicted me of my negative internal chatter about my body. And he was like, and I had to get to it. It was like, I love you, tummy. You birthed 3 babies. You've been with me
Mhm.
through thick and thin, and we're going to
Yeah.
figure this out
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
and I'm going to
Yeah.
honor what's going on inside of you
Yeah.
so we can figure this out. And the Lord's going
That's
to,
beautiful.
you
That
know,
is so beautiful. Just honoring our temple because he gave it to us. It's our temple. It's ours to steward. It's beautiful.
so tell us, Margie, as we're wrapping up, you have something special for everybody coming.
Mhm.
Well, anybody who wants to connect with Margie, tell them how to connect with you and what you have coming up next week that they could potentially participate in.
Well, wonderful. I would love to share that with you. First of all, you can always reach me through my website. There's a way to do that. It's
I'll
sunlight.
type it in the comments.
Yeah, www.sunlighthealth.com. And you can learn a little bit more, about what I'm doing and what I how I can serve you basically through that. And then my Facebook, I do have a Facebook group, and you're more than welcome to come join that. That's we can actually put that in the comments too. It's faith, food, and functional medicine for women over 40.
Faith, food, and I should know this by heart, but I'm just making sure I
Okay.
type. And sorry, I got it.
Faith, food, and functional medicine for women over 40, or my website. Those are ways that you can connect with me. Obviously, on direct message, I'm always available there. So, but what's coming up next week is we're going to be doing a free 5-day real food challenge. And that is for anyone who has feeling like, you just want to get a handle on this habit that we have of just grabbing anything that's close by, grabbing the junk food or eating the sugar. Those are the types of things that are going to get the little things that we do every day are what's going to make a big difference down the road. And if we can get a handle on just those food choices, we're going to talk about mindful eating. We're going to go. Let me back up. Well, it's 5 days. I'll put the link for you to register in the comments. And if you register, you will get a complete guidebook that'll help you through it. It'll have recipes in it. It'll have all those things. And you will also be eligible, if you register, to be in drawing for some prizes that we're going to be giving out next week, some fun things. So, but you have to be able to be in the group and participate with it. So you want to join the Facebook group, you want to register for the challenge, and that we will be going probably live. I don't have all the details wrapped up just yet, but I know that right around noon in my Facebook group, you're going to be getting some teaching every single day. You're going to be getting a little bit over and above what's in your guidebook so that you'll have some hints and some things that really you might not be aware of when it comes to just clean eating and getting a handle on those habits. So if you participate with us in the 5 days, you're going to feel a lot more energy. If you do it and you really are compliant with what we're doing and you're participating, you're going to feel more energy, probably drop a couple pounds at least. And, just get yourself a jump start into what it is that God has for you and where he wants to take you. And you'll be with a group of women that will all support one another. And, but I will be giving more details. And if you register, you'll be getting an email that has lots more details on that, but you're more than welcome. There's still time and we would love to have you.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I just was feeling that, my clients laugh at me because I quote Zechariah 4:10 all the time. But I felt that sense of heat around that scripture for this, because it's that do not despise these small beginnings. The Lord delights when we take these steps because he knows how hard overcoming some of these obstacles can be, especially around food. We
Oh,
have
yeah.
very intimate relationships and lots of baggage usually around food. And so when we take these steps, sometimes we think, well, it's too small of a thing. It's not going to make a difference. Oh, it can make a big difference. So Margie, thank you so much. I adore you. Thank you for all you do for the kingdom and helping women, and appreciate you.
Gail, thank you for that. And then for all the ladies that are going to watch this or are watching it now, I just pray a blessing over you, that God will show you exactly what he has for you, and show you the best version of who you can be and who he sees you and how he sees you. So thank you again for this time this morning. And I'm excited. I'm just
Well, thank you
excited
for
about life.
inspiring us all and reminding us that the second half of life can be lived with vibrancy and energy and joy and health and wellness. And it's not a downhill slide into the nursing home.
You got it, girl.
All right, everybody, have a beautiful day. I hope you enjoyed this version of Real Talk. And those of you watching the replay, reach out to Margie, and even if it's long past her challenge, she's always got something great going on in her group. So thanks, everybody. Take care.